Well, good morning there. We are in Kuala Lumpur and we are going to visit Chinatown today. We're going to talk about investing, and I can't think of any better place to do it than in Chinatown, and I'll explain why. Let's head over there. I want to show you around. How you doing? Why are we going to talk about investing as we walk through Chinatown here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia? The reason is a story about me. When I was first in the military and I went to Hawaii, I did not know anything about managing my money. Nothing. I came from a background where you basically either worked at a company, a Midwestern background. You worked at a company or you worked for the government. When you retired, you got paid a retirement, and then you passed away, and there was no wealth that was made, okay? No wealth was made for the next generation. They were expected to do the same thing. Take a look around over here. Look at this right here. This place is amazing. Chinatown's incredible. Every generation was expected to do the same thing. You go to work, you go to school, you work for the company or the military for 30 years or whatever, and then you live off that retirement until you pass away, and nothing is left over for the future generations. But when I went to Hawaii, I experienced a new culture. Hawaii has a very dominant Chinese culture. And I was very thankful to make many friends and to now have family in Chinese culture. And I learned about taking the wealth that I earned and investing it for the future. And basically changing the future of generations to come. This is something that the Chinese do very well. They generate wealth and then they invest it to make it grow through many generations. Oh, look at these right here. Making some like tasty bread here, some pancakes. He's over here making it right here.
Hello.
These right here, how much are these?
Coconut pancake, 1 ringgit 10 cents.
Okay. All right, let's give this a shot right here. Look at that. Coconut pancake. Oh. That's really good. Really good. Oh, man. Oh, that's good. The first thing that I learned, even before I learned how to do dividend stocks, which you think would come first, right? But before I learned that, I learned about real estate. I learned about how important it was to save up so that I had a down payment to pay 20% on a property and then rent that property out for income. The amount of money that I put down on a rental property and what I would get back, the idea was to try to get 5%, a 5% annual return on my money. And that was how to take the wealth that you earned and make it work for you. And that is also something that when you pass away, you can give to the next generation. It doesn't just go away like Social Security does, like a pension does from a company, and like a military retirement does. They all go away when you go away. But those properties, they go into a living trust, and then you hand them down to the next generation. That's the difference that I learned. And it changed my thoughts about how investing works. I'll give you an example. If I want to buy a property and I'm going to put $200,000 down, that's a lot. But if I want to make $1,000 a month back, okay, $12,000, okay, That's how much I'm going to have to put down if I want to make $1,000 a month. Now, what if you want to make $500 a month? Putting $100,000 down on a property, okay, and getting $500 back every month, $6,000, okay? This gives you that 5-6% return on your money. When you first buy your first few rental properties, the reality is they tend to cost a lot more than what you make because you have to do maintenance and remodeling and things like that. It takes time, but so does building a business, because that's what you're doing. Look at it like you're building a real estate investment business. Don't look at it like you just have a rental property, okay? It's not like that. You're building a business, and instead of having a storefront, you have these rental properties. I'm going to give you an alternative to that in case you don't want all the hassle. You don't want to have renters. You don't want to pay for someone to manage the property because they'll take like 10%, right? You don't want any of that. Instead, you just want to have real estate that you make money on. One thing that you can go for is called a REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust. And REITs go out and they buy all sorts of properties. They buy big condos, they buy commercial real estate like malls, things like that. They will generate income off of that, and they will give you a portion. And the return on a lot of that can be 6%, 8%, sometimes even more. And I'll put up a couple examples here so that you can research them yourself. You don't have to do all the work, all right? To give you an idea of what I've done, when I was younger, I didn't mind doing the work. So I went for the rental properties themselves. Now, I've changed. I'm mostly in REITs. I let them work for me. Every quarter, they pay me a paycheck for doing nothing but owning them. That's it. Another great thing about REITs is you don't have to save up for a down payment. You just start putting your money into them, and they will pay you your 6%, 8% back annual that you're looking for right away. You don't have to save up this down payment and then put it down and go through all that paperwork. I think that's one of the real advantages, because you don't really have to have this massive chunk of money to put down like you do on a rental property. You can start putting a little bit out of every paycheck into a REIT and start making a really good return. And you can tell yourself that this is in real estate, that you are a real estate investor, because that's what they invest in. Thank you. Okay. If you like that idea, if you like the idea of getting returns the same year that you start investing, say, which was my plan, I took 10% out of every paycheck and just bought dividend stocks. I want to explain really quick how dividend stocks work, because I do get questions in the comment section about what is the difference between dividend stocks and growth stocks. Because growth companies are building new factories all the time, they don't really pay you a dividend so much. They take that extra profit and they use it to make the next factory. But there are a lot of companies that have been around for a long time and they've already built themselves out. You find big companies that have been around for many decades, and they take their extra profits and they pay them to you in a dividend to thank you for being a shareholder. And you get paid every quarter, usually. Sometimes they're a little different. but it's a very simple way to make money the same year that you start investing. And you don't have to necessarily wait to save up a large amount and put it down on an investment. You can just start buying the dividend stocks and start seeing returns the same year that you bought them. They've worked out real well for me. I started investing now, oh my goodness, probably about 3 decades ago. And, you know, in my 20s. And I've seen a lot of crashes happen. I've seen the market take tanks, you know. I've seen some of my stocks lose half their value. As long as the fundamentals of the company doesn't change, as long as it's doing well, it's still making profits, low debt, it has products and services that people want, okay? Then when they crash, I just buy a little bit more. Dividend stocks will slowly but surely build your retirement. I want to tell you how I've built my dividend account. And you can take from it, and then you can also watch other videos and learn as much as you can. But for me, every paycheck, I took 10% and I bought dividend stocks. I didn't worry about it if the stocks were up a little bit, if they were down a little bit. That's not what stressed me out, okay? I just consistently bought every month. And that's how over time I was able to build it up. I didn't try to time it. I didn't overthink it. And I didn't buy things that were just hype. I bought stable companies that had profits, low debt. The second point that I want to make while you're building your dividend portfolio, this is the second thing that I did. I diversified, but not too much. Think about what I'm saying, okay? I bought stocks that had a good dividend return, but they were also diversified in their area, in their sector a little bit, so that if there was one problem, that whole stock wouldn't collapse. And I'll give you a couple of examples here, okay? Like in the utilities sector, which I feel is probably one of the most stable ways that you can invest your money. And I'll put that one up here so you can see. It has a lot of different utility companies inside of it. In the energy, natural gas sector, this is just a couple of examples that I liked. Again, they are diversified into various industries in the energy sector, so that one stock actually has some nice diversification inside of it. Another thing I liked was industrial metals, which I know it sounds boring, but that's honestly the way that dividend stocks are. Whew, gonna get my workout here. Look at this going up. Oh my gosh. Good dividend stocks will probably look and sound boring because they're the foundation of the economy worldwide, okay? And for me, I found that industrial metals was a great investment. The return was nice, and they were diversified into several different kinds of metals that are used for a variety of things, not just construction, but also for manufacturing technology, and then also for manufacturing batteries. Let me show you this beautiful thing I just walked over here. Hold on. Look at how nice that is. What a beautiful walkway. And I'll give you one more just to think about, because all I'm doing is telling you what I invest in, and then you can look at them and do your own research. But I like to have a little bit of exposure to different kinds of bonds. Not just one type of bond, but I want to have a variety of corporate, municipal, different types of bonds, okay? And so I invest in a bond fund. I'll put it up here for you to see. And for me, that gives me exposure without having to stress out too much. I'll give you two more just to kind of round it out. I like asset management. We talked about REITs earlier. There's some great REITs, but asset management is a style of investing in companies and then also investing in properties that make money. And this is one that I like to invest in. when it comes to asset management. I think that it's a good company. I think they've proven themselves. They have a nice return. And also, I think they're growing over time. So make sure you just look into that. Again, these are just my suggestions that I use. You have to kind of do your own research, see if you like them. And the last one is the old standby that everybody loves right here. Boom. That one has a variety of great companies in it. And the nice thing is it's managed by experts that have gone to school and learned about the whole economy and how companies work and whether an investment is good or bad. They take companies out, they put companies back in as necessary, and you over time just reap the rewards of steady income. These stocks that I've showed you, they're not volatile because they're not that exciting, okay? Volatility comes from people hearing about things and, oh, I heard about this on the news and the CEO is famous, okay? So we're talking about dividend stocks, and we want stability and we want good income over time, okay? All right, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to talk about real estate, and then I wanted to talk about dividend stocks because I've had a lot of people ask me questions about what I invest in, which I don't mind talking about at all, and also how it made it possible for me to be able to retire early and travel. It wasn't overnight. It took 30 years of investing, okay? So I wish you all the best, and I hope you're having a great day. I love Kuala Lumpur. We went through Chinatown earlier, and then after that, we got a bite to eat, and now we end up in beautiful Perdana Botanical Garden just for a nice morning walk. And I've really enjoyed my time here in Malaysia. I will be continuing on to several other Southeast Asian countries. So come along with me, like and subscribe the video, and join me on my journey. I wish you all the best, and aloha. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. That looks great. Oh my gosh, look at that. That looks fantastic.